If
I
a
mean,
movie is to be offered to you now, would you think it would be a blockbuster? You know?
fun fact, I was offered a movie. I think the average mark this time is 176 point something, and I've scored 175. So I think I'm below average.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, slightly harsher. Yes.
Odisha model is the best model for like last 5 years. The way development is being done. Yesterday, the entire day, I've been bothering whether I'll get Odisha Cadre or not. But
Would you not?
till the time I was doing my 47, 48 Civilsdaily Samachar Manthan, I was confident that you give me any topic I would not have listened about that, I'll be able to write an answer. I had so much masala at the end of the preparation that I knew at every point I would have a data. I used to go through the PYQ question just to understand what kind of questions come and what kind of themes get repeated. But Samachar Manthan was, I think, had made a lot of difference, and probably my scores reflect that.
Scores are like next level only. Like I said, the mark sheet show that bilkul interview proof preparation correctly. What were some of those X factors? Hi everyone. This is 8:30, 8:45 in the morning, and I'm recording this Raw and Real session with Animesh because after this session he has to go to IOCN. That's the dedication of this guy, even after he's gotten a rank. And we have just like 1.5 hours or so. And this Raw and Real would be very, very important for each and every aspirant who's starting and who wants some meaning from his struggle, which UPSC will inevitably offer you with open hands. We'll talk about all the fun stuff that Animesh has been at the receiving end since he got the rank too. We've had videos with his mentor, Ranadhir sir, in the office. He was the first one to come and do live with us since he was a student for 2 years. And then for the serious part of this Raw and Real, for which every one of you should stay tuned, we'll talk about almost daily rituals, frameworks, stuff which he learned from his mentors, stuff which he learned from his therapist, whatever he's okay and comfortable sharing, which kind of helped him go through the journey in the tough times. Cool, Animesh. I think happy to have this finally chat with you. I remember a few things from our dinner that night, which was like really long, 3 hours. I don't know if you realize you came at 8:30.
I did not realize. I mean, as if you remember, I did not have charge in my phone, so I did not know what time it was. By the time I reached, it was already 12, or like probably more than that. As like I went at 8:30 probably, and I'm at home at 12, and I did not realize that. So it was a fun day, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the few things which stay in my memory from that day, one is like you said, boss, I've aged 40. In my head, in my mental age is like 40 plus for the the years. And and I was trying to advise your counsel you कि यार अभी बहुत सारा noise will come your way, just be prepared, be equanimous and stuff like that. And midway I realized, but you already know that, whatever I'm saying. And I realized the futility of all these advices, and I said, चल कुछ मंगवाते हैं फिर. So I'll pick up a few strands from our dinner table conversation, but सबसे पहले बताओ, how was the Odisha experience? If a movie is to be offered to you now, would you think it would be a blockbuster?
Fun fact, I was offered a movie to be made. Yes, but obviously I mean, it felt as a joke, but it was a serious offer, but I obviously declined, and I don't really feel that a movie should be made on me because I don't think I've done anything extremely significant. Every year there will be a AIR 2 and with a different story, which would be also equally inspiring. But my experience in Odisha was extremely wonderful. I mean, for a week, I understood I was still processing that I'm all in a rank 2. I have probably achieved the milestone that I have been longing for all my life. But when I saw the same joy and pride in the eyes of my teachers, especially in my school, and in my eyes of my relatives and people I was close to, I have like the uncle and aunties, we have stayed in the same quarters. So going back there and seeing them, how they react, felt very surreal. As in, they have seen me doing everything from childhood. I've been in the same school from KG to 12. So, I mean, it was extremely emotional that, but also, it got a lot physically taxing. I had a lot of interactions politically and non-politically as well. So it was very new to me. I did not know how to process a lot of things. I got a lot of felicitations and everything was there, and I went to NIT Rourkela too. That was surreal. I met a lot of distinguished people. Extremely beautiful. Obviously, I had to turn down a lot of media interactions, turn down meeting a lot of people because of paucity of time. But it was wonderful in Odisha, yes.
Okay, who was managing you all this time? Your sister or something?
I think a lot of people were trying to, and that created a lot of chaos.
Oh, that
Uh,
too.
yeah, but I thought I will be able to manage everything, but then there was a lot of parallel management going, so that created a lot of chaos. My sister got angry for most of the time because I was not able to follow her plan. We had a serious fight one particular night. With then I shouted and said it was better if I would not have cleared education.
How
So
what's the age gap between you and your sister?
4.5 years.
Not much, but okay to have
5 years, yeah, 5 years.
5 years. Okay. And among the people you met, like, did someone give you a nice line or advice or something which stayed with you? Yeah, सब लोग वही generic बातें करते थे, like any distinguished person who told you about life में क्या आने वाला है and stuff like that.
I met with the collector of my district. So I think he had the most sane advice about everything, the how to handle media, how to handle the attention, how to handle the fame. And like obviously he talked about a lot of long-term things, but also he talked about the very immediate things, how can I address them. So I think his words were something that I kept in my mind. I still keep in my mind while I do something or speak about something because that felt very practical. As in, also a
Hmm.
lot of tips, as in on there are a lot of fake profiles that have been created. So he narrated a lot of stories that how people start fooling with those accounts, and
Hmm.
how you have to understand that there's a bigger responsibility now when you speak something or when you present or
Hmm.
associate yourself with somebody, because that matters. Subconsciously you might not realize, but there is somewhere who draws inference out of it, both in a positive and negative light. So I think I feel more responsible now. So that's an added pressure, but I understand that it's a part and parcel of everything that's been going.
I think I remember a proverb. It's either a proverb or some saying that a Caesar's wife should be above doubt or something like that. So not just you, even the people who are closely, attached
Yes,
to you, they also should have now an added responsibility to kind of uphold themselves.
correct,
In,
correct, correct.
right? Okay. It's up to you how much you want to go in depth of this. But tell me, what are some of the quirky things which happened in Odisha? Some of the things you like movie offer given to you. What are some of the things which you had never thought this might come your way, but it came, and how did you react to it?
The movie was obviously something which I had not expected, and quirky things. I mean. A lot of people there are a lot of people asking for marriages, a lot of people asking for jobs for their kids or relatives, which was weird conversation to have. And I don't know, people started becoming extremely sweet, and uh, I mean, the same kind of people have been with. They're like extremely senior to me. But the way they used to act, it felt that I am the boss, which is not a good feeling. As in, I extremely hate that feeling. I do not like the babu culture and everything, and I'm still not an IS yet. I've qualified just, and I've not been designated with something. And I think very subtle, quirky things would happen. There used to be somebody who would not allow me to open the door. Or
Okay.
like if there's 100 meter that I have to travel, also there used to be a car which would come and tell me कि नहीं आप car में जाओ. So
Okay.
those are the things I did not like, which are very quirky but also annoying.
Hmm. I was. I just get lost in your narration. I was going to ask you this question that just slips my mind now. But you said that you met with Sarpanch of 10, 12 villages, or Pradhans of 10, 12 villages, uh, and they would have come out and talked to you about, you know, like maybe simple things like job lagwa do and etc., or even like graver things that are really troubling them, right? ऐसा होता है कि when someone like you or anyone cracks a rank and suddenly becomes a beacon of hope, people, they just kind of pour out all the grievances or all the issues that to you, right? So in a very quick snapshot you would have gotten to know कि उड़ीसा को क्या चाहिए अभी या लोगों की क्या क्या issues है, right? Because no filter दिए होंगे उन्होंने अपने फंडे, right? Hoping that you would save them all, and तेरे चेहरे को देख के भी लगता है कि you're very helpful and तू आएगा, तू दिन दे ही देगा उनको. So what are the, like from your very recent experience, ऐसा क्या क्या issues है which Odisha is dealing with right now, which you could feel and listen to from first hand?
Odisha is so diverse that the issues are also extremely diverse, because for a longer part of time, for obvious reasons, coastal part have gotten their due recognition as well as their due funds and everything. And so there's also regional disparity if you see the western and southern pockets as compared to the coastal belt of Odisha. And so the problems then differ from here and there. But what I found is that there's a lot of Odisha is not still yet with the startup culture. There's no entrepreneurship at Odisha. Like from the place where I come from, Talcher, which is a mineral belt. There's coal mines, there's Coal India, there is NTPC, there is Nalco, there is Jindal. A lot of big shot people here and big shot organizations there, but hard you'll find a startup there. And and there's a lot of capital, there's a lot of resources, there's other natural resources too, but people are not aspirational. I mean, you cannot blame them, because we have been through a lot of disprivileges for a longer part of our lives. The state has been natural, because there has been calamities, there has been cyclones, there has been poverty, hunger since time immemorial. But if you see the trajectory at which the development is happening is extremely fast. Like I can see Bhubaneswar and Talcher developing in a great extent in within 2 years, if I would say. So, but I think the bottom line being, if we start becoming more aspirational and not be content with what we have and what we are getting across the districts, that would make things better. And obviously the issues remain the same, the infrastructure remains the same, because roads and everything, that's something that can be improved. Number of airports is extremely less. With respect to IT and everything, things are coming up to a great extent. I mean, last 4 years or something, with the new IT policy, new semiconductor policy, I could see functional developments and changes that had happened. But obviously, there's a lot that can be done. And also, employment is something at the countryside which has to be expanded, because although we are developing agriculturally, but it's all rice. So there has to be diversification. My sister works with horticulture department. So before this also, I used to learn a lot about the nitty-gritties of it. So if you ask me, Odisha model is the best model for like last 5 years, the way development is being done. But since for a lot of years, we were at the bottom. So now when we come at the middle, like we're no more a backbencher, now we're a middle seater. So it feels happy that we have come a long way, but we are not yet as a front bencher. So, but then I think that journey will be more exciting and will be much more faster than the journey from being a backbencher to a middle bencher.
And these would be the similar things shared from those village folks, Panch and Pradhan, or were they more real and grounded key here and now? ये तो तूने बहुत macro level पे बताया कि these are how the macro things should move. What are the, did people open about what's ailing them at the micro?
Yes. As in, why the road has not been completed yet यहाँ पे, ताकि रात को trucks बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं, why it becomes unsafe, और accidents क्यों यहाँ पे ज़्यादा होते हैं. There's issue of pollution because coal mines area है. There are a lot of schools which have not gotten their due from a long time. So things like that, which are very actual problems, and it felt more as in, it felt that thank God I have cracked this and I'll have an opportunity to address this. Might not be all, I might not even do anything about it, but I'll still have an opportunity to address them. Directly or indirectly, I'm not sure. Yesterday, the entire day, I've been bothering whether I'll get Odisha Cadre or not. But
would you not? What was your first preference?
Odisha is my first preference, but I talked to one of my seniors who is an IAS in Odisha Cadre. So she explained me how things work with the cadre allocation and what usually are the vacancies. For a general insider, for last 5 years, vacancies have been zero. So it's always a ST or SC seat which gets converted to general every year, and that's why either one or two general insider get into Odisha Cadre. But it's dicey, it's risky. You have to bet on that. There's no people from ST or SC background from Odisha who would have cleared and I've gotten IS, and then only it gets converted, and then only I get it. So thoda dicey hai.
Things just you can't imagine. Oh, I was also looking at your mark sheet, and I was actually we kind of checked your most of your Samachar Manthan submissions from day one to till the day end, and we were seeing remarkable growth in the way you wrote. Thankfully, you were someone who wrote from the day one, the first week itself. I mean, I try to wrap my head around when I speak with rankers what worked for them. I think for you, it's consistency and discipline, like we talked about that day in the dinner, that you get some kick out of numbers, and then you used to discuss this with your mother also, and that whole cute circles every week would get completed for you, cute in a manner of saying. But we saw your mark sheet, and we realized that obviously, for the reasons we all know, your interview did not go that well. You scored like average.
The lowest. It's below average. I saw statistical analysis with the answer sheet people have shared on Telegram. I think the average mark this time is 176 point something, and I've scored 175. So I think I'm below average.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, slightly harsher. Yes, but your mains marks was, you kind of had made your whole preparation interview proof. मतलब तेरे 25 नंबर भी कमा दे तो भी तेरे रैंक 20 के अंदर, तेरे 50 भी कमा दे तो भी, मतलब you would have qualified probably with the highest rank, and then however low it might have gotten, with a reasonable limit, you would have still gotten a rank. So your preparation kind of became interview proof in a manner of saying, and we saw your evolution from day one to day end. कि क्या पहले ये almost as if like you were meticulously working through while the mentors were checking the copy you were working through with you and telling अच्छा ये fix कर लिया, ये रहता है, ये fix कर लिया रहता है. Trust me, that video is doing good. People love it. Like it is possible to start from where you started and then get to where you got, and which is eventually a phenomenal mains mark sheet. So that is why this kind of became very raw and real in a manner of speaking your life journey. Thankfully, you wrote all the exams. It became very, very nice for people to see.
I am very thankful that I went through that process every single Sunday. And I used to look up to that because, as you said, the marks used to be my adrenaline rush because there was nothing more new happening in my life. It was all dull and depressing. And those weekly evaluations. I mean, I remember if I had given a test on Sunday, I would have submitted the paper scanned and sent them. I used to follow up on a Tuesday as well. Ki, ho gaya kya marks ho gaya? Because I wanted to get that marks. And I remember I used to immediately download it and see ki aaj kitna marks aaya. Is this week how much marks did I score? Because I think I have been that kid all through my life. But yes, I mean, I think that's a major differentiator in my entire journey. And a lot of people have been asking me and also telling it's not possible to do everything in a year, having the adversities I had. And how did I do answer writing? How did I practice tests? And how did I write mains notes? But I did everything together organically. I mean, my notes were prepared because of the weekly PDFs. I did not do any answer writing separately by setting. I gave the test from day one. So test, answer writing, and notes making were happening all at the same time, and which is, I think, is a more reasonable way to do, and not like acha padli and today from June 1 I'll start answer writing. I'll sit for 30 minutes. Does not make sense. You not get a direction. Ki what will you practice? Who will evaluate them? And today, if you write 5 answers, what other 5 questions will write tomorrow? So, and I did not find it really productive to write mains PYQs. Although a lot of people had advised that time as well, ki write mains PYQs and all. But I found to write the weekly Samachar Manthan Tests more productive as just to write mains. I used to go through the PYQ question just to understand what kind of questions come and what kind of themes get repeated. But Samachar Manthan was, I think, had made a lot of difference, and probably my scores reflect that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the compounding is very visible. More when we see your attempts, right? From February when you started writing till the next year after your friends and you wrote. I mean, I'll share the deck with you. It's phenomenal. I mean, you've left some conclusions on day one. फिर day two में तुमने dimension की headings सही करना सीखा. फिर उसके बाद headings were self-explanatory. Then towards the end, you started writing diagrams because now you had so much masala to put in a question. There was a question we were reviewing where contributions of uh, uh, foreign leaders in the independence struggle mein tha. It was only asking about Annie Besant and one more guy, but you mentioned so many other folks who played their part. And in the 2 page, you might not remember it, but I was just looking at it. That means you've gone through the PYQ. You know that the X factor is adding slightly more stuff than what the demand of the question is, and do that in a way which is easily readable. So therefore, the gola, then chakris and ye sab come, which is all that you can live the mains experience properly. I mean, that's what the exam wants from you. Which brings me to one interesting thing, an observation which a senior retired IS officer once shared with me when these guys were coming for mocks. So Archana Johari ma'am and Rajiva Mishra sir and Shankar Agarwal sir, they come to do mocks for us. They said कि अभी के ऑफिसर्स में ना लिखने की वो ना टेनासिटी और वो कला थोड़ी मिटिगेट होती हुई दिखती है. दे डोंट राइट अ लॉट. व्हेन यू डोंट राइट अ लॉट यू डू नॉट गेट क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट. And it's a very, I would say, underrated skill to keep up with writing because journaling in manner of speaking, but anything which puts your thoughts on a paper and you commit towards it helps in the longer run. Did you feel that because you were writing Samachar Manthan day in, week out, and this was your consistent thing? Did you, apart from the scores you got, did it give you confidence and clarity in your articulation? Could you feel it? Yeah, ye or hota gaya and it just unknown to you.
I could see the way my confidence boosted up. Matlab, I don't think the marks were, if you plot my marks, it's not a linear graph. There were ups and downs, there were a lot of crests and troughs. But my confidence, if you plot my confidence level, if we had a quantifiable way to do that, it would be a huge e to the power x graph. So that's for sure, because I was preparing alone. There was nobody, there was no benchmark, there's nobody I could compare my copies with, there was no peer, there was no group study or anything. And it was always a lonelier process, in spite of having a lot of support system. But the support system was on an emotional level. Academic level pe Ranati sir was there. He was there to guide and give feedback, but I did not have a peer to compare with. But in spite of that, I had always this confidence. I'm writing and I'm feeling like I have been telling this a lot of times that till the time I was doing my 47, 48 Civilsdaily Samachar Manthan, I was confident that you give me any topic, I would not have listened about that. I'll be able to write an answer. Because Samachar Manthan had made me do that. I was fairly confident that in mains, I'll be able to write something. In spite of in the toughest of the subjects, economy, geography, art and culture were something were extremely dicey and difficult, but till last, as sure I'll write something. I might fetch zero, but I'll be confident to write something and I'll be content with that.
Okay, I'll pick a question from this last statement. I know that because you've been consistent with Samachar Manthan and the UAP whole mentorship took care of you, you were confident that you would write something. That means you will score above average marks and nothing can actually be a bounce for you. But your scores are like next level only. Like I said, your mark sheet show that bilkul interview proof preparation correctly. What were some of those X factors which you knew you had in GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, which kind of, if you reflect back with some hindsight bias, this would have propelled my scores up?
I think, as you said, the masala you said right at the end, that I felt was a X factor, because I had so much masala at the end of the preparation that I knew at every point I would have a data. Every point. I used to write as many points as possible. The more relevant it is, the better it is. But I would put a data everywhere. I had remembered 200 Supreme Court judgments by the end of it. So across GS1 to 4, I'll have put, like GS1 may obviously the scope would be lesser, but at GS2 I would have put Supreme Court judgments twice and thrice in one paper. I would have put a committee in almost every paper. So I used to go and consciously collect this value addition materials and internalize it in a way that I do not have to think about it. It should come to me very naturally. And I knew that the competition is extremely difficult. So you cannot settle with the bare minimum and just do the political, economical, social, law, technological, and things like that.
The
The dimensions
pestle,
we cover.
the
Yeah,
pestle,
pestle. Yes.
old.
So I always figured out that you have to be extra smart with not just introduction, conclusion, but under me also the masala has to be extremely enriched. And somebody said me that no one can beat content. So that I
Yeah.
internalized very later that handwriting, presentation, everything is very important, but primarily it's content. So you have to have a very high command over your content.
Okay, two things then from this. One, do you have your notes on the 200 Supreme Court judgment? Did you like make notes somewhere? Yeah, ये सब दिमाग में रहा था.
No. I had made notes. Like it's a 6 pages, 8 pager notes.
Perfect. Can you share
But
that with me, like a PDF or something if you have?
like
Yeah,
not now, but I think I will have it.
मतलब later on, we'll put it on the video for people to download. Second thing, I was speaking with Benjo, uh, like 2 days ago. Again, your batch cleared IAS. Said exactly the same thing. I left all these pestle and these old cliched approaches behind, and I looked at the syllabus completely. Each line of the syllabus. What is UPSC expecting me to know dimension wise across the the headers that they have declared? And then I went and researched far and wide. And Benjo का ये था कि उसका ROI with respect to GS was the highest. Like he hardly studied for a month for GS and he got it. All the stuff he had put in was optional anthro. And I asked him how was it when you got the rank. I think he got 59 rank. How was it when you got it? And he said कि अभी वो फोर्थ अटेम्प्ट था उसका, तो पहले 2 अटेम्प्ट में प्री नहीं निकला, दूसरे अटेम्प्ट में इंटरव्यू रह गया शायद या समथिंग या मीम से निकला समथिंग लाइक दैट. लास्ट में जब तक ये आया तब तक स्टोइसिज्म इतनी हाई हो गई थी एज अ फिलोसफी कि इंटरव्यू देने के बाद तो एक्चुअली गॉट टू एंथ्रोपोलॉजी की बुक्स विद हिम कि ओके व्हाट इज लेफ्ट नाउ, हाउ कैन आई बी बेटर, व्हाटएवर हैपेंस. And when I speak with you guys, it's so nice कि the way you look at life के perspectives are so mature and so amazing and so grounded that even speaking with him, it was like a no-brainer that if he wouldn't have gotten a rank, he would have next year aimed to pinch all those holes in the anthropology armor. So as to say,
I can relate and resonate to that because just after the mains were over, and for a month I did not want to study anything, and I had gone to a lot of, I was active in Reddit, so I had gone to sociology sub and had asked that I want to read more a couple of times. And a lot of people suggested a lot of books. I read some of them. After mains were over, I took a EPW subscription, Economic and Political Weekly. And then I studied, because I wanted to study sociology, not with the tension of appearing in an exam. As I can relate to him, as he said, yes. I think once you become comfortable, as in with your option especially, it becomes that if you kind of tend to love it, uske baad it feels that you want to do something with the subject, not just from UPSC point of view. I mean, I had researched a lot ki if can I think tests will be my plan B if I'll do something in tests too. But I had a different plan B, but I had searched ki what is the application process in tests if things do not go properly, then I'll probably start doing something sociology. I started ki somebody told me ki international schools will be better. So, but yes, as you said, I can relate to that. He had anthropology. I had the same thing with sociology.
Okay, nice. So few things you said. अगर UPSC नहीं होता, ठीक है, and you had to choose a plan B, like what with whatever maturity you have now, where would you have made the most impact? What would you have chosen as your next field of work?
So, back of my mind, I always thought that if I'll give 3 attempts, and if 3 attempts may also and I do not get my desired service, then I'll do management consultancy.
Achha.
Because I work with the IOC in a project called Project iDrive, which is being driven by the Indian Oil majorly, but also we have a consultancy partner, A.T. Carney. So for closely 2.5 years, I've worked with the folks of A.T. Carney. And then I got introduced to management consultancy, and it interested me a lot. Not because of the fancy and glamorous lives consultancy provides you with, but it was the same. As in, the canvas is broader, bigger, which I think was a bit similar to what UPSC would provide you, but maybe on a not at a ground level, but the opportunities were diverse. So management
And you were
consultancy
working
was,
with the AI. You're working in an AI project,
yes,
right? In a very
yes,
high stakes AI project, I assume. Like
yes.
serious stuff.
Yes, yes, yes. The project iDrive that I'm saying, it runs around 100 initiatives at IOCL, all digital initiatives, and there are like AR, VR, there is RPA, there is analytics, there is AI and everything. So I was in the team that looked on AI ML projects.
Okay, just take a moment to, because of your experience with AI in specific, and I'm sure you would have read. Did you get time to read a lot on LLMs and the emerging AI
Yes,
generation and
yes,
technology? You
yes,
did,
yes,
even
yes.
with your studies for UPSC. You
Yeah,
read a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
that was a part of my job. So
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Give me some sense of how do you see AI impacting UPSCs? If it is it there yet? What all will it need to reach a stage where it can help UPSC preparation journey, both academically and non-academically? Non-academically, I mean, understanding the user behavior, understanding the mindset, and giving the right nudges, etc., etc. Where are we tech-wise, maturity-wise on that?